Good evening, everyone. I'm Nitya Mittal from IEEE DTU, and I welcome you all to the APIs 101 with Postman webinar. This introductory webinar is a part of Vihaan 4.0 conducted by IEEE DTU. Today, we will be learning the significance and beginning tools to building an API. Please be interactive and stay alert. At the end of the session, a few participants stand a chance to win some goodies, and certificates will be distributed to all the attendees. Our speaker for today is Mr. Ritwik Ranjan, an upcoming intern at Citibank, lead organizer of Vihaan 4.0, and a Postman Student Expert. So please join me in welcoming Ritwik, sir. Hello, sir. I hope you're doing well.
Thank you, Nitya. Thank you for so much wonderful introduction. Uh,
We're very
I can
excited
see
to
there are a
have
lot
you
of
here.
people
And
joining.
without further ado, I hand over the platform to you.
Thank you, Nitya. So, hello guys, how are you? Uh, I hope all of you are here, and I'm going to start in a minute. So, first of all, about myself, like most of the things are told by Nitya. Yet again, I would repeat once again that I Uh, my name is Ritwik Ranjan, and I am going to have my intern this summer in Citibank. I am also a Postman Student Expert, and apart from that, I am also one of the lead organizers of Vihaan. So, moving forward to what we will be doing today. Also, one more thing, there's a link at the top of the uh, basically my slide. You can always ask a question on that also, or apart from that, you could just post your questions in the comment box of YouTube also. I will be able to see all your comments there. And moving forward, without any delay, so the agendas of today about what we are going to do today. So today we are going to go over an introduction to API. Uh, then we will talk about requesting and receiving data from an API. We will try some things out that we will learn today, and after that we will go over some follow-up resources for you all. And at the end, we will have some time for Q&A. And in between that, we will also give you some challenges, and you will win goodies for those challenges. Just follow me along, and you will definitely get some awesome goodies from Postman as well. Postman has really awesome stickers and uh, t-shirts and hoodies, and that you have a great chance to win at the end of the session. So just stay active throughout the session, ask your doubts, and move forward with it. So now, moving forward with, I will try to explain APIs to you in a very layman's term about what API is. So let's think of API as a waiter at a restaurant. Basically, in restaurant, when you go, there are majorly three entities. First, the customer who is sitting and eating there. The other one is the cook who is cooking the food, and there is a waiter who takes the cooked food from the cook, and it delivers you at your table. So basically, you can think the waiter as an API here. So what actually is happening, that you are requesting the waiter that it should go to the cook and ask the cook for the cooked food, and then you are receiving the cooked food through the waiter. So regardless the waiter services as a moderator between you and the kitchen, that's what APIs actually do for clients and services. So basically you are a client, and the cook is a service provider. So what APIs do, APIs took the service from the cook and it delivers it to you. I hope you have got a pretty much idea of what API is. So moving, basically Pankaj Kumar has a question, how to use two API together. Basically, there won't be an issue in using how many APIs you are using together. You could definitely use as many APIs as together. I don't think you will ever get a problem with that. But yeah, when you are asking for two APIs together, and if they are connected and has to be used one after another, you have to maintain the sequence. Otherwise, like, if both are independent APIs, you can just fetch from both the APIs simultaneously and use the data whenever you want in your application. So now, moving forward, as I told you, how this how you can imagine the restaurant as an restaurant, waiter in a restaurant as an API. Now moving forward to uh, the a technical example of the same. So let's all of you must be using Instagram. I hope let's see in the chat who does not use Instagram. I hope all of you use Instagram. And now in Instagram, billion of users own smartphones nowadays and use them to share photos on social network. This wouldn't be possible without APIs. Simply saying, basically, all of the things that Instagram do is through APIs. There is nothing that is done on your phone. All of everything that is done in the Instagram app is done through the APIs. So sharing photos using mobile social networking application involves use of different types of APIs. Firstly, to take the photo, the social networking mobile application uses the smartphone's camera via its API. Then, through its API, it can use some image library embedded in the application to invert the photo's color. So basically, when you click a photo, what actually happens is you send a request to the camera that you have to click a picture. Then the hardware of the camera clicks the picture and it sends back to Instagram that a photo has been clicked, and it reverts it back to the Instagram. Then on the application, you are basically uh, you are basically applying filters over that and doing a lot of things for that. And when it's done, when the photo is received and modified by you, what you do is you put up it on your story. So while putting it up on your story, you send it, Instagram send it to its server. Basically, this particular API, what it does is that your photo is sent to the Instagram and it's uploaded on your particular account on the Instagram itself. So moving forward, what the server do? The server provides an API to all of the other users that are in Instagram that are authorized to view your profile. Let's say if you have a restricted profile on Instagram, then what happens is that uh, basically what happens is that uh, only the users that have that have followed you can see your story, not everyone on the internet. So basically what it is, it's a uh, public API, but it's restricted to a private domain. I think pretty much you can get an idea of what an API is now, like what private APIs are, what public APIs are. If you have any sort of queries over that and of how it is working, you can ask now. So I can see in the chat box there are a few questions. Basically, sir, what is the problem statement of hackathon? Is web development important for a hackathon participation? Uh, no, Sahil, web development is not particularly necessary for a hackathon. Basically, and there is no particular problem statement in this hackathon. It is an open challenge in which you have to build something that brings about a change or an innovation, and you have to show that there is no restriction on any tech stack. There is no restriction on the type of application you are building. You can build uh, you can build any sort of application, mobile application or web application or anything that you can present to us, uh, and you can use any tech stack that you want. So moving forward to our API. Sir, our Insta stories are public, right? Since everyone can see them. Yes, if you have a public profile, your stories can be seen by anyone. So yeah, it is a public API. Instagram gives access to your stories to everyone as you do not have restricted it. But if you have restricted your story to say some private friends, like only friends things, so then what happens is that the API is restricted to only those who have access to it. So it's a private, and the one in which Instagram is sending it to the server is an internal API of Instagram. You do not know what command it is running, what type of API, what endpoints you are using. You do not know that. It's just you know that Instagram is taking your photo and it is sending it to your server. How this happens is the business of Instagram, and you are not authorized to see the work of that particular API. Now, let's a bit into both to give you a bit more idea. Uh, so you can see in the image, looks like a software version of the Rico brick system. You know, uh, बचपन में हम खेला करते थे इस तरह के बिल्डिंग ब्लॉक्स से, एक के ऊपर एक डालते थे एंड बहुत सारी चीजें इस तरह से हम बनाते थे, उससे छोटी-छोटी चीजें। सो बेसिकली होती क्या थी, हमारे पास हर एक ब्रिक जो होता था, एवरी ब्रिक दैट वी हैव हैड, हम उसको जोड़ के कुछ ना कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग बनाते जाते थे। दैट्स व्हाट पर्टिकुलरली यू कैन थिंक ऑफ एपीआईज लाइक दैट। बेसिकली what API do is it gives you small building blocks. Like if you have a camera API, if you have a server API, and you have a public API, you can build the Instagram all together by yourself. You do not. Oh, basically, you can see. Uh, have you seen this? Have you used Zomato? Then you open Zomato, you can see there is an option of sign in with Google. What do you think happens there? You particularly don't believe that the Zomato that Google is not provide Google is definitely not providing its code of authentication to Zomato. So what Google do is it provides that if you send if you send the Gmail username and password of the user to the server of Google, we will authenticate it on our own, and then we will revert you back with the yeah, Kirsch. Zomato uses the Google API for that. So Zomato has now one workless. It do not have to write the code for authentication. It uses the authentication of Google. Is it as simple as that? When you are building a very large project, you do not have to do everything on your own, everything by scratch, because there are a lot of work that has been done, and the API endpoints are provided for that. You could use the authentication of Google, Facebook, and just by adding some few lines of code, a few lines, just adding a simple API call. Yeah, Tushar Pandey, Firebase provides the API endpoints of a lot of those, and Firebase is also an example of a group of APIs that it provides. So moving forward of what exactly is an API now. So by definition, API is application programming interface. So from its name, it's obvious it provides an interface between the software and the basically a soft client and the server. So you are a client, and this there is a you are basically here Zomato is itself the client and Google is the server. So what API is doing? It's connecting the client application with the server application. Basically, sometimes we need to get data from a service like Google or Facebook. Since we do not have access to these companies' code bases, definitely neither Google nor Facebook is going to provide you that this is the code that we are using. So basically, they create APIs so developers can get information from their services without access to the code base. Both developers and non-developers use APIs to get data from popular services like Twitter and Google to use in their own projects. Just like you can use popular APIs, you can create your own service or application that you have made. So like I told, even in the hackathon, you're using a lot of things. Like let's say you're building an application, simple application like you're building a chatbot. So even the chatbot needs a lot of data and lots of processing. So you cannot generate all those data on your own in such a stipulated time. So what you can do is, like, let's say you need a natural language processing project. So you can use the Twitter API to get all the tweets at once, and then you can process the data to get some meaningful results. It's as simple as that. So now let me tell you, there are a lot of APIs that are very public APIs that are used a lot these days. For example, there is the cat API. The cat API, what it does, it gives you the details of the cat. Like you can Google it and you can get the details of the cat. Spotify gives an API. Open Weather Map is a very popular API. So let's say you are making a weather app. So you do not know how to fetch weather from anytime, anywhere. So what Open Weather Map do, it provides you with an API key, and you can use that API key to the weather of any location. Is there any limits of API usage? Uh, no, Chaitanya. Yes, Chaitanya. Obviously, there are limits on UPI usage that is defined by the API, the person who has made that API or the company who has made that API. They restrict the UPI usage to make sure that it is used fairly. But also there are paid plans for that, and if you're using some company's resources, obviously sometimes you have to pay for that as well. So basically, if you're building a project for testing purposes, you can definitely not go through any charges. Like you can for a fair usage, most of the APIs are free to use basis. Now moving forward to, now I have told you API. So what exactly this workshop is about is APIs 101 with Postman. So now I will be telling you what the role of Postman in all those APIs. So what Postman do is, like if you're using API and if you're building some API or like testing some API, like previously when there was Postman was not there, you have to do a command line. You have to work on the command line. Uh, Basically, you have to write a curl command, and with all those headers, its syntaxes, and then you can send that request and then receive that request in command line itself. So it was pretty much difficult to do. This was not difficult, but it was a bit tedious task. Like you have to do repeatedly the same thing. Uh, where can you can use basically what Postman did. It runs the same thing but on the back end, and it has provided a beautiful UI on the front end. So you can see the difference between, like, it's pretty much how sorted the Postman thing looks and how tedious the curl thing looks. So now, request and responses. Just give me a second. Now, so let me take your questions first. What is the difference between a REST API and API? So what I told you in general what APIs are like, and REST APIs are particular, like particular. These are the particular types of APIs. And RESTful APIs are particular types of APIs that is particularly used for exchange of the data. Is, uh, Sir, how to deploy an API? Basically, for deploying an API, you can learn how to, like, write a backend code on, yeah, Django is. I particularly use I particularly use Django to write the APIs, but you could also use Node.js and other backend frameworks for doing so. So what about Swagger? Swagger provides basically a way to write all the documentation of the APIs that you are creating. uh, Request and responses. So just give me a second, I will show you what request and responses are. Um, I think I should have to remove this and then add my screen again. Just give me a minute, I will show you a beautiful example. Just a second. So yeah, is my screen visible to all of you? Google. Is my screen visible? Write in the comment, anyone. Okay, so what I'm telling you is about this. Just a second. I think I have to present my window, not. Just a second. Yeah. So can you see this in the side of Google, the console that is open? Yeah, great. So network is here. Let me refresh that. So here you can see, when I refresh this page, here is a request that is www.google.com. We made a request to www.google.com. It gave us a status code of 200, and the type of it is a document, and there is a size and there is a time of the request. So what exactly is this? So here you can see the request URL is www.google.com. So you made a request to www.google.com, and what type of request it is? Then it is a GET request, and the status code that is returned by this request is 200. 200 means that the request is okay. So you made a request to Google, you saw there is a 200 status code, that means that your request is executed successfully, and what type of referral policy is there, and there is a lot of things with that there are headers, and there are a lot of headers which you do not have to do anything with. These are something that is all the data that is collected by Google. These are all the data that are collected by Google. And then you could see the request headers are there. These are something that is sent with along with a request. And after this there is this response bar. On the response bar you can see there is a whole HTML document. This is the complete site of Google, which is this is something Google returned when you requested it. So this is the complete website of Google, which is rendered here on the screen. So I think you got a pretty much idea of what is a request and what is a response. Now uh, just let me see if you have any questions. um, Sir, are you using OBS? I think OBS do have an API. Yes, OBS may have an API, but I am not using OBS. I am using StreamYard for streaming. So just let me present my presentation again. Just a second. Application windows. Sure. Yeah, sure. Now in the presentation, we have this. Yeah. Great. So coming forward to request and responses, here is now making request. I saw you on the Google page itself that what is request. Requests are how we communicate with the API. You need three things to make an API request basically. Which is the method, that is the get method when you send the request to Google, a URL or the endpoint, you can see that as endpoint, which is www.google.com, and then the path. So here when you requested for Google, the path was empty, but let me show you. If we do backslash here and write something and then send a request, you can see here it's a really nice way. It says that you have requested to this particular URL. So here is our path, which is not present on the Google server itself. I write something bogus and that is not present on the Google server. And the request type is still get, but the response code is 404. Basically, 404 is a very typical response code that you could have seen a lot of places. Like this means request not found, data not found on the particular path. There is 404, that's an error. The requested URL this was not found on the server. So this is the path which is not found on the server. So we made a bogus response that gave a 404 error. Now, so moving forward with that, just give me a second. So now there are different methods. Basically, a lot of you would have learned about the CRUD operation, and even if you're not, it doesn't matter much. So there is create operation, there is update operation, there is a retrieve operation, and there is delete operation. This is what CRUD stands for, and the four major API also stands for the same thing. So what HTTP methods are: when we make a request to an API, we specify that we want to get out of this interaction with an HTTP method. Methods are like verbs, they are actions, the actions that you are going to perform. They let the client, like Postman, know which action to use for the URL. So like when you select get, you send a request to the server that you want to retrieve something. When you made a post request, you want to create the data on the server, you want to create a new data on the server. uh, so um there are a lot of methods apart from these four: get, post, put, delete. So put is for updating the information, delete is for deleting the information. I will show you how these four works actually work. I will test it on a server and I will show how these actually work on the Postman. So when in Postman, I will be using Postman, you can see that all the default requests are get. Like most of the requests that we make would be the get request, because the major thing that most of the things are done on the server, and we just want to get what the information is on the server. When you open any website, what you do is a get request of all the things that is available on the server. Now moving forward, next is endpoints and paths. So I already told you what an endpoint is and what a path is. Endpoint is where your message to the API is delivered. Basically, it's LinkedIn slash feed. So feed is where all the data is. LinkedIn is the default endpoint. But basically, LinkedIn is the endpoint, and you write. Basically, LinkedIn is the address of the server, and path is defined where on the server your request should get. So now, specifying details. When you make an API call with a get method, it will usually retrieve everything from the URL address. This can be pretty overwhelming for you. Parameter specify the response so you can get the specific data that you're looking for. In other words, let me show again Google. So yeah, here is www.google.com. Now write something slides and it opens some slides. So let me open Postman also. Although I would also request you all to open Postman too. Just so here's a Postman and my workspace, and like there's the basics of API. Let anyone open. So let me remove it here. So sorry, I'm just sorry. Let me copy it first. Let me copy this and let me paste it here. Yeah, so you can see now there are the params. These are, now I was telling you about the parameters here. So there are parameters, authorization, headers, and body. So let me get it everything here from Google itself. Now you're searching on Google. When you search, you see there is a queue. Queue is the query through which you're opening it, and here is slides. Here is a new window parameter. Like it says that all the requests should open on a new window. Like and there are a lot of other data and a lot of other cookies that are sent to the Google server when you make any request. So majorly is what primarily you should look for is the queue. Queue is the query parameter. And let's say if I remove the slides and I wrote something and then I send, what happens? When I send the request, there is a data that comes and there is a document that perform and so just let me give me a second. So yeah, you can see when I change here, the URL changed, and in the actually here it is changed. So you would actually, what you can do is just you can remove all these, just make sure this, copy this, paste this here, and if you change the ending, like if I write the query as postman here, you can see the post it searches for the postman. So what basically it is, the search here, this particular thing is the path, and this particular thing is the query. So now you can pretty much understand this is the endpoint till here. Now this is slash search is the path, and this is percent q is equal to postman is the query itself that you are making to the server. So now moving forward to headers and bodies. So basically authorization is something that we will not cover in this particular workshop because it's a pretty advanced topic for the beginners. uh, but let me tell you in a short that what authorization is. You cannot make API request to any server without getting authorized. So let's say give me an example. Let me give you an example of sending an email. Sending email is also sent by an API. So when you are sending an email, you need to log into your email. You cannot send a request without login. So when you log in, you get an authorization code from Google, which authorizes you to send a particular request. So there are a lot of open APIs, but there are lots of private APIs also, which can only be accessed if you have an authorization or an access key for that. So that is particularly authorization is. And then there are headers and body. So what headers and what bodies are, let me get it here. So here is a header. The headers are particularly, here are the headers. So in the headers it is saying that the connection should be kept alive, and there are some details which are sent. These are the headers which is pretty much automatically calculated by Google, and you can also specify if you have any type of data that you are going to send. And what body is, like you won't see a get request in a body, but when you will sending a post request or a put request, that there are different kind of creating a data. You have to send what the exactly data that you want to create. All those things are sent in the body of the tech. That is what we will cover in our hands-on session just after the completion of the presentation. So now receiving responses, I have already shown you what is 200, okay, what is 404 not found, 201 created. Now I have shown you the examples of get request for now. I will be showing you the examples of put request also, and when I will make a post request or a put request, you will get a response of 201 created. Now headers and accessing body types. Basically now there are what I showed you, this header was the request header, and now here is the response header. So let me see the response header, and there is, you can see there are a lot of things set cookie, and these are the cookies sent by the Google to store on your device. And there are a lot of other things like content type, like it's HTML type data is sent back to you. It expires -1, that means it never expires. This is the date when you receive the data, and basically content coding is zip, and there are a lot of other things that is not very relevant, but you can see that the headers are also returned in with the response. And now accessing the body data, so response will have a body also. This is the body of the response, and this is something which is particularly shown here also. This is the body of the response. In network you can also see uh, this was a request made, and you can see here, you can see response here. This is the HTML document which is present here. This is the body of the response actually. Now moving forward, making request, I shown you how to make request. Now I would request you all, so I will give you one minute, and I will request you all to go to this link. Let me copy this link, actually copy this link address, and let me send it in the chat. uh, Yeah, I think the link is visible in the chat. This is the link. I am particularly shown it also here. http:// postman 101. Kindly open this link, all of you. All of you open this link and give me a thumbs up in the chat box. Can you do it fast? I'm waiting for you to do this. Till then, I can open this link in my new tab also. So when you will open this link, you will get something like this. Let me check. There is some error in this. Let me get it corrected. There is some issue with the link. Let me send you another link. Sorry for the trouble. Let me send you another link for that. Give me a second. Uh, just give me a minute. Sorry guys for the delay. Uh, just let me share my screen. I have sent the link on the chat itself. You can see in the chat and just click on the link and open it. When you will open, it will show you a screen like this. Write a fork label here, anything you wished, and click on the fork collection. Select my workspace here. Write a fork label here. Click on like anything. Click on my workspace here and then click on fork collection. You will be able to fork this particular branch that I am working on, and then you can do a hands-on training with me. Just write in the chat that you have done what I'm telling. Just give me a thumbs up once you're done in the chat box. Great, great, great. Go on. Everyone do that. Forget everyone. Once you forget, you will see here is the basics of API. Here is a get joke, and when you click on the three dots, which is particularly here, and just click on view documentation. So yeah, I think you are all doing it great. Great. I don't think anyone has a doubt before. No, thank you. So in forward open, do it. Very well, very well. So I can see there are only three folks right now. All of you kindly click on the link and forget. Just get along, guys. It will going to a nice hands-on session, and after that you will, or what you will do can fetch you some awesome goodies from Postman. All the stickers that you were seeing in the presentation could be yours. The t-shirts and hoodies too. Just get along. Great. So moving forward, so here it is the get joke API. So now look, when I said you to look at the documentation, you can say here is the endpoint URL given. Just copy this endpoint URL and paste it in the get jobs. So paste it here. So basically, it is an API endpoint. The Postman team has made a uh, simple and yet very easy to understand API so that you can see how APIs are working, and click on send after this. Basically, what you did, you sent get request to the server. Hey there, this is a simple demo for making an API server made by Ali Mustafa Shak. Uh, Basically, this is the person who makes this API, and he said that whenever someone put a request, this particular API, give this as a response. So basically, this is the response given when we send a get request to this particular API. The status is 200. Okay, that is, yeah, the get request is executed successfully. The time taken by this request is 309 millisecond, and the size is 293 bytes. So this is how the API looks. So it's great till now. Now you can see here it is saying that slash joke is path for getting the joke. So now what I will do is I will append this slash joke at the end of this. Sorry, now let me close the extra tabs. So this to this. Yeah. Now What I will do here is I will add slash joke. So I send a joke. Here you can see this is a body. Also, the particular format which in which this is body is called the JSON format, JavaScript object notation format. So what it is particularly, it's a key value pair. Sorry, it's a key value pair. This is the ID, and there is a value 3. There is other, which is NA. There is joke, which says first rule of programming: if it works, don't touch it. So pretty much this is it. Yeah, and this is a source of, like, it is a pretty much, you can think it's of an object with some variables and with some keys and values associated with those keys, which gives us some information. When I made a request to this joke API, it sends a request. So just let it do us again. You can see here is another joke, and when you see it again, you can see another joke. It's the one that we have seen before, but there is no pattern in that. Sometimes it shows one, sometimes it shows two, like it's showing two for that time. So basically there are 4 jokes on the server, and it's showing us all those four, one after one. So what exactly here happening is, I think all of you are following me basically, because it will be beneficial if you follow me along. It will be really great if you go along with that. So now let's do one thing, is that you can see, like, this is a API which gives us some random examples. The examples are not fixed. Which joke it is giving is not fixed. It's sending us random things. So what, let me do one more thing, is just I told you about parameter. So what we will do here is we will use a path variable to get a particular joke. On how path variables work, you have to give a colon here, and you have to write the name of the path. What you are writing here is in the path is not much relevant. You can also write here ABC, like कुछ भी लिख सकते हो, but actually we are going to send the IDs like 1 2 3 4. So pretty much if we give the name of what it is, so it will be easier for us actually. So when I write slash colon ID, you can see here is a path variable, and path variable keys ID, and here is the value. So I want to get the second joke is here. I will write the 0th joke. So here I am writing 0. Oh, I'm writing 0 here, and I'm sending the request. So I get now, how no matter how much time I send this, every time I will get the 0th response. So in the 0th response, you can see that, yeah, there is a question: how did the coder CEO build his company headquarters? A, by calling the constructor. So like you get the 0th element this time, and every time you make it 0. So let me write it 2 as here. So 2. Actually, there are only 4 jokes on the server. Don't write anything apart from 0 1 2 3. So let me see if I write 56. I will get a 404 not found, because there is no joke at the 56th ID. So let me write 0 and send it again. And what you do after this, save this, because saving this gives you a very good advantage over something that I will show you in some time. Just don't forget to save it. Now you see how the get request is. Now let me make a post request to this one. And so what you do is go here, add a request. So right here, post joke. You can write anything, any name that you want. So but it's always better to write the name of the request that you are making, as it will be easier for you in the future if you want to do something. And what you will do is get here, do it a post, go to the request URL then, and again, here is the documentation. Here it's a post request. The body for post request, like, we will get to it again. So let me copy this just, and we will be using the same endpoints as before. So this is the endpoint basically. Uh, we will remove this particular because we need to add any joke, and if the post request, then let me say. So here you can say, when I made a send request, I received a message missing required parameter in JSON body or the post body or the query string. So basically in the query string or the post body or JSON body, there is something wrong with this, and this, what is wrong is that it is the required parameter in the JSON body is missing, and it gives us a response code of 400, which means we have made a bad request. So now I've said you what body is. So here is the body. Now what you can do in body, you do not know right now. So how can you know what to do? You can go to the documentation, and you can see the body for the post input is like this. So this is the body. This is example of a body. So let me copy this example and let me add this in the body. So you have to first select, look closely here. Form data, form included data, binary and GraphQL are something which are different types of data. But what we are going to do here is we are going to send very raw data in JSON format. The data which is present here, it is a JSON format data. So what we are going to do is this. We added this, and here is the ID, which is 1. So 1 is already present. So let me give some, uh, write any one of your favorite number. Let's say I'm writing 36. In the author, write your name. uh, Source is Vihaan workshop. Source is Vihaan test. So and the joke, I will leave the joke address. I am not very good at jokes, so I'm not going to make any joke, but you can make it. You can make as innovative jokes as you can. And I can definitely say, if you make a very good joke, you can get a goodie, definitely. So here I can see, can you folks elaborate on the plot? uh, I'm facing problem. It is saying for public profile I'm facing issues. Can you elaborate, any one of you, of what the issue is? Anyone of you can elaborate the issue that you are facing? Kindly write in the chat the issue you are facing. I'm moving forward. Let me know in the chat box the issue you are facing. I will be able to solve that. So yeah, here we are. So now I'm going to send the request to this particular in the JSON format, and I'm going to click on send. So when I sent, it showed me 201 created. So in the PPT, you saw this particular code 201. So now you can see what 201 is. It means the created. It means that this particular joke is created on the server. So now when we go to this, let me save this first, and then let me go to the get joke. So here, let me write the value as 36, and let me make a sentence. So when I made a send request, you can see that this is the data which is present here. Now the get request is showing me the data that I have sent using the post request, which means my data is successfully stored on the server. So I think if you have been following me, you might have made some request to the same. Kindly write in the comment box what are the jokes that you have made till now. Send me the IDs of the jokes that you have created. Fast, guys. Anyone, at least one. Anyone, guys? Anyone write your serial number of the joke that you have created? कोई तो create किया होगा इतने देर में. If you are facing any issue, you can tell me. If and there is anything, any issue that you are facing. Okay, I am moving forward. So this is how you post a joke on the server in this way. Now moving forward to the next request, that is the put request that you can make to the server. So basically in get request you get the data, post request you create a new data. In the in the put request, what you do? So just let me quickly make a new request. It is put joke. So there is a put joke. Change the method as put. The URL will be same as this because we are making it on the same server. And now again, let's go to this and copy the body from here. But basically not from here. It's better if you can copy from here because we are going to edit the same post. So here it's basics of API. Schedule. Just a second. So it's gonna put sorry body raw text JSON. I'm writing the body here. And now what I'm going to do is keep the ID same because you won't be able to update the because what our server is doing, it's taking it's searching your data with the help of this ID, and then it's updating the data that is sent on the particular ID. So what you can do is like here I am adding just what I'm doing is just Ritwik. I'm adding my surname as Ranjan, and I'm going to add here as editor. So now I'm going to make a send request. ID is not in the present variable, there might be some error, or let me send it again. So I just check if there is any data. I guess there is some issue. Let me post my joke again. There is some issue on the server, and I guess let me check once again. To uncreated. Okay, someone might have deleted the code because, as I told you, this is not a secure server. So yeah, someone might have run the delete command on this particular code. Sorry for that. Sorry for the trouble. So the status is 204 no content, which means to any status that starts with 200 in the range of 200 means that the API is successfully executed. The request is successfully executed, but 204 means no content has been returned by the server. So when we updated the data, so the data is successfully updated, but it's not particularly received by the data is not returned to us back. So now let me check if the data has been edited or not. So I have made a get request to the same ID again 36, and I can say this is the author name is changed to Ritwik Ranjan and the source is changed to Vihaan edited, which means the request is successfully edited. So now here are the headers. Here So let me save this request. So the put request is saved. Now let me show you something interesting. So just right click here. We have the documentation there. Now click on the view documentation again. Now you can, when you go down there, you can see the get joke, the documentation of get, the documentation of post, the documentation of put are automatically created. Anything that you do here, and you when you press save on that, the documentation of that particular API is generated by Postman itself. So this is the one of the most the biggest benefit of using API of API on testing your APIs on the Postman. It creates a documentation yourself. That is, you can share this, that you can use this, and you can always change the server here. You can write anything else, and you can check how it will give the command of that particular language. Curl is basically what I told you that is made on the command line itself. So this is how that works. And oh, I can see a lot of comments after that. Oh, sorry. I missed that. Really awesome connect. Param for post request. Tripti, the parameter for post request would be available in the uh, parameter for post request would is in the documentation itself. Here is the documentation. Uh, in the documentation you can see this is the body. In this format you have to post the data, and now you can change, you have to change the id, anything apart from 0123 and 36, because I have used that. You can write anything else, and you can write your name as an author, and you could write your own joke, or you, even if you do not joke, write something about yourself, anything in the joke section. And the source, you can write anything on the source also, like whatever you want. Just make sure that you post this on the server and tell me the id. uh, I can see check 11, check 99. Oh, definitely I will check those. Just give me a minute. In the 99, 99, 99. Ali Mustafa, I am a full stack developer as I pull code from the internet. That is funny. Another one was 11, I guess. So let me send a request to that. 11 is not found. 11 is not found, Utkarsh. It might not have been posted. Try it again. Try it again. Try it again. It's not there. Uh, Anyone else who want to post the request? Can we create a template for our JSON response? It's very tedious to write from. Yes, definitely, Pratik. You can just copy what from the response from the GET request and use the same template for yourself. It's just the same. You can definitely use that. I am facing problem missing required parameter in the JSON. Ritik, your problem is pretty simple. What you have to do is just make sure in the post, in the body section, you have clicked on raw and as well as selected JSON from here, and the form and the that what you have pasted here should match to identically, should be identically same to what you have copied from the documentation. Just make sure that it will definitely there, you won't get the error. Uh, Anyone else? If any queries of there? 21. Hang on, I can see. Check for 21. Yeah, definitely. It's the get request params and it's 21. Hemang has written, where there is code, there is a bug. Definitely. There always is. Can you check 2003? Yes, I can. It's getting interesting. Oh, it's not joke, not found. Is it 203? Chaitanya, is it 203? Let me check my own. It's 203. No, 203 is also not there. Chaitanya, 2003 is not present on the server. You can check once again if you have sent the request correctly or not. Uh, just kindly check. Have you, when you posted the request here, it should be the post in the body. Everything should be written, and in the body here is should be your detail, and then in the params you can write. Sorry, in the body you can write the joke, and then when you send the post request, you will get. So if the joke is already present, you will get this. This. Otherwise, you will get a request like if I do the same thing on 38. So a new joke will be added on 38 with same everything same, and this is what you will receive when 201 created should be here, and this should be the body. The joke that is created should be the body of the response of the post method. Done, sir. Check 14. Okay. Colon ID is not working. Getting error. Can you tell me what the error is, Tejaswini? Okay, Ritik. I am checking. Just a second. I am checking 14. Oh, sorry. Ritik Gupta, Joke HTML Programmers Source Workshop. Nice, Ritik. It's on the server. You have done it. So now, all of you should test the put request also. 221 is now active. Okay, Hemang 21. Let me check 21. Oh, 21. 21 is joke not found. 21 is Hemang. Where there is scope, there is bug. Yeah, great. Great, Tejaswini. You can tell me what is your code? What is the ID that you have used? Write in the chat box. I can check what is your joke. So now moving forward, like I have shown you get, post, put. Do you remember the next thing that I can tell you that we can do on our server? So let me see who can tell me, right, that what I can use, like get request or put request or post request. These three things we have used, and what is the last request? What is the last request that we are going to learn today? Just tell me in the chat box. Anyone? Delete. Monal Sa says delete. Ritwik Gupta says delete Rotham. Yeah, we are going to do the delete request now, and I hope most of you have created your joke by now. So now you all will delete the same joke that you have created, and let's see if you can do it successfully. And now you all are going to tell me what to do next. So just tell me. So what should I do next? Obviously, the first thing is to create a new request. I will do that on my own, and इसके बाद तुम लोग मुझे बताओगे कि मुझे क्या करना है. What should I do next will be told by you. So, let me see in the chat box. What should I do first? Just anyone tell me what should I do first? Anyone tell me how to execute this request? What is the request and how to do this? Should I just do what I did in get? Should I do the same? Just change the request from get to delete? Is it what I should do, or anything else? Do I need to change anything else? Anyone? Anything that you can think of? Anything that you can think of? Anyone? You guys are not telling me. And how can I solve this problem? So let me do this as you're not telling. So I'm going to do it on my own now. So what I'm going to do is just select delete here, and yeah, pretty much everything is same as get request. You just have to delete what is present there. So you can select and basically you have to add the ID here, because you can always delete just one request at one time, and you have to send the request that you are going to do it. And from where I know, just go to this and you can see include ID in the URL like this, where 10 is the ID for delete request. It is mentioning that you should mention the ID of the joke that you are going to delete, and from where I know that what I'm using to delete my request. So yeah, ID is added here. Now I have created a joke 36, so I'm creating 36 and I'm going to send. So joke with ID 36 is deleted. Status 200. Okay, that means my status of 200 is okay, and my joke is deleted successfully. This was the last of the Abdul Wasi. Check 19. Himang accessing URL first. Yeah, we are going to access the same URL, and then we are going to delete that particular thing. Nice response, Himang. Abdul Wasi check 19. I'm going to check that. Just give me a second. So I'm going to check 19. Send a request. Who do the humans miss the second? The Reddit. Okay. Nice one, Abdul. Anyone else have created any joke that I can show? Let me know if you create one. So now what I'm going to do is, like, you have learned all the types of requests: get, post, put, delete. I hope you have liked that particular thing. And now moving forward, so basically, so yeah, moving forward. So now pretty much everything that we have learned so far in this workshop is that we know for methods like get method, put method, post method, delete method. These four methods that we have learned, these four methods. Let me tell you, there are a lot of other methods apart from that. There are path requests, and there are more of these things that you can learn on your own if you go on exploring APIs. Or I can have a workshop another time to tell you all of those other methods also. Addresses, so you learned the endpoints and the paths. A complete endpoint with along with the path makes an address. So uh, in the joke also, just let me show you. uh, Sorry. In the joke itself, that this is particularly till here, it's the particular endpoint, and this is the path, and completion of all of this is the particular address on which the request is made. And now, hmm, it's loading, it's taking time. So definitely, uh, parameters. Coming to parameters that you learned, like you have learned this. ID is the, like, deletion of this ID. Basically, this is the path variable. It is also a parameter. And there are query parameters that I have shown you when I was searching for Google. Have shown you that how query parameters work. There are two types of parameter: query and parameter, and path variable. I have shown you both. For the authorization, I told you that is a pretty advanced topic that we will learn sometime else. But for now, you can learn that all of the requests that we are making on the joke server were unauthorized, and as the server do not require authorization, we do not need it. But if we are going to make a request on a secure server, you would need to have been authorized to access that server. Now the body data is that what we have learned, that this is the body data. So not in this, in the put or in the post, this is the body data that we learned about, that you have to send a JSON body to create an object. So in the start of this workshop, some people were asking me about, okay, check 50 and 667. I saw that. Oh, coming. Just first 50 and then 67. Kutam has said, I'm a full snack developer because I snack more and code less. This is funny. This is actually funny. Now another. Let me check. 67. 67 is joke not found. Oh, whose was 67? Arman, your joke is not found. Oh, sorry, Arman. This is pretty much everything that we learned today. And now moving forward, what you can do. So I am a Postman student expert, and I would definitely like it if you also make it to that. And it's not a very big task. It's like that you have to learn something, and you have to implement something, and then you will become expert. So what I did was I gone through their like training session, and then I completed the API module on their website, and then I received the Postman Student Expert badge. So what is there? You can see in this slide that you can send. Basically, what you will learn is sending more sophisticated requests in Postman, editing documentation for a collection, writing basic test scripts, running collection, passing data between requests, and scripting request execution order. Have an option to become a student leader in your community. So this is something that you can do as a student expert, and you can also learn pretty much interesting things when you become one. And obviously, becoming a part of the community is achievement in itself. Now coming to the, like, this is the URL that you can use to like, just let me, sorry, let me copy this and let me send it in the chat. I'm sorry, what is happening? Let me copy this link copy to, yeah, that's right. Check 15. So you can, in the meanwhile, you can go to this you just go to the URL and you can check about the Postman Student Expert program, and you can yourself become one student expert, just like me. So I'm going to check 15 now. Oh, get request here. It's 15. What is 1 plus 1? What is 1 plus 1? Answer 11 because I am using JavaScript. I do not know JavaScript. I'm pretty bad at it, so I didn't get that. Check 1002. Okay, okay, I will check it. Apples are red, engineering is dead. Oh, that is a funny one. That is a funny one. Anyone else with a good joke? Anyways, moving forward. So here is how there are two ways. Now, in the start of the workshop, I told you all about winning awesome swags. So how you can win a swag. So what you have to do is go to Postman, like on the homepage of Postman. Let me go to the home. Just open Postman. Get to the homepage of Postman, and then do nothing. Just click on Launch Postman. If you're not logged in, you will be asked to log in. Just sign in with Google, nothing more. Then when you will sign in, go to Workspace. Here, create a new workspace, and workspace can be about anything. That as I told you, like you can see for such a simple see for NASA APIs. NASA has a lot of open APIs that you can use to create your own APIs. So here, open NASA open APIs. So there are a lot of things here. You can see overview, browse APIs. So when you go to the APIs, just see Mars rover photos. So there is something here you can see. Let me click on this. So yeah, you can see here is a complete JSON data that has that we have received, and all those data are about different Mars rovers that are sent on by NASA. And what you have to what you have, this is just an open API. Anyone can use this API. So what you have to do is after creating the workspace, let's say it's about NASA, we'll name it like NASA Vihaan. You can use any other API. Search on the Google for any interesting APIs and click on public here. Write in summary workspace for Vihaan and create workspace. When you will create workspace, here what will come. And when you will create one, just do one thing, copy this and attach in the form that I will send you through the email after you send the feedback form. Those who will send a feedback form will receive a link to upload this particular task. So what in that particular task, what you have to do, just you have to copy this particular thing and you have to share it with us, like in like this. Copy this and you will certificate. Definitely just after this slide, I will give you all the link for receiving the certificates. So I think pretty much you understood that how you can receive. And now what you have to do, just click here and add a new collection. Like let me name it NASA Mars collection. NASA Mars collection. Click, and now in the collection, click on add request, and it's get rover pics. And what you have to do in get is just copy the NASA URL from here. Just let me copy this link address and just let me paste it. So when you paste, you will see a API key or solution. It's just a number of photos that you have to get. If I write it as 10, it's just 10 photos, and let me see and I what photos I request. So you can see pretty much it's kind of like a really good arranged. All the data is arranged in here in a very good format. So here it's like one image, here is another. Sorry, sorry. And now there is a click on the photo. So let me copy this. copy this and paste to see if the photo you have received is right or not. So here is a photo of Mars that is provided by NASA. So you have received a lot of these types of photos. So I have restricted it to 10. So you have received 10 photos here. But if you make the request to like 100 photos, 1000 photos, you receive this. So now you have like click on save here, and this is your collection is saved. Now what you have to do is just share this link. Click on this workspace name, and you have to share this workspace with us. And those who will be sharing awesome workspaces will get awesome swags. And another way to win the swag is just what you have learned today, just post it on the social media with hashtag Postman Student. And the postman, when the postman team will see what you have learned, what awesome you things you have learned, they will send you a swag. They will contact you and they will send you a swag to your home. Just post what you have learned today with your feedbacks on any social media platform like Twitter or LinkedIn, and tag me as well. And share and use the share tag as hashtag Postman Student, and the Postman team will get back to you with awesome swags. So these are the links that you can use, like learning.postman.com for learning different kinds of API. Explore.postman.com gives basically this is what explore.postman.com. When you go to the explore here, and in the explore section, you can see there are a lot of things like Mercedes-Benz developers, Microsoft Graphs, API evangelists, and there are a lot of API public workspaces which is present here, and all these have a lot of collections. Of which you can use to build your own applications or anything like that. And obviously you saw how the documentation are, and it's kind of pretty easy to do that. So here is the Q&A. So moving forward to Q&A, if you have any questions. Anyone have any questions? 67 and 1002. I will check those. In between, you can write how you felt about this workshop, and you can also workshop 101 get request. Here is the path variable ID 1000. 1002 is not found with it. What was the other one? It's 67, I guess. 67 is I am a full stack developer. Okay, I'm on your request is also posted there. Tejaswini is check 4, please. Okay, let me check 4. Marriage is like a workshop. The husband works very hard. That's nice. So let me hide this from here, and you can try that IMDb API. Like I haven't used that. You can try it. Just Google it and try it. You can try it, and you can contact me over email if you have any queries, or over LinkedIn as well. My link, just a second. Sorry. So that was pretty much everything that we have done today, and all of you, please kindly fill this feedback form and tell us how the workshop went. And this particular link will also be used to send certificates to you all for attending this workshop. And obviously, this is what will be used for to send swags to you as well. Like the details of where you can send us the swags will also be sent here. Kindly fill up the form, and everyone, and just write in the chat box how you felt about the workshop. It will be any kind of feedback will be great, be it positive or negative. Or you can just fill up the form. Anyways, thank you for being here, guys. Thank you for staying all this time. Uh, it was a really good workshop with all you guys, and thank you for interacting in the workshop and not making it pretty boring for everyone. Thank you, everyone. So, let me end the presentation, and thank you, Hemang. Thank you, Just Play It. Thank you, Sashwat. Thank you, Abdullah. And anyone else What are we supposed? Where are we supposed to? Just fill the feedback. This would be the query of a lot of people. So just fill the feedback form that I have given you in the chat above. So after you fill the feedback form, I will send a link to all those who have filled it form by tonight, or uh, by tonight, definitely by tonight. And those who have filled a feedback form will receive a form link by tonight over your emails. Just fill that up, and you will receive the link to uh, fill up the workspace link. And those with the best workspace links will receive awesome swags from Postman. And also, looking forward to see you in the Vihaan also at 9 on 9th of April. Thank you for being in such a nice audience. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Abhilasha. Thank you, Arman. Thanks, Utkarsh. Thank you, guys. I think we should end here. Thank you, Ritam. Thank you, Supriya. Thank you, everyone.